Why is your side piece your jump off? Why are you not taking care of her? He broke the first rule of being a player as a celebrity. You keep them happy so they don't destroy you. You keep them happy so they don't expose you. You on OnlyFans, you making money by selling your body, so you clearly not doing too well in these streets. You get offered 10 million and you turn it down. I believe the NFL power structure, or maybe the white media power structure, or maybe the white podcast power structure. Somebody was jealous of Shannon Sharpe's upcoming $100 million contract. Somebody was jealous of Shannon Sharpe's upcoming $100 million contract, and they intervened at the level of Tony Busby, or they intervened at the level of Gabriella Azul. Shannon is going through 2 trials right now. Shannon is going through civil court with the white man and a court of public opinion with the black man, the black woman, the white man, and the white woman. And guess what? Guess which one of those are more critical, Art? The court of public opinion. Because in civil court, she's going to get paid and then life will go on for her. But if Shannon Sharpe is convicted in the court of public opinion, and I hope he's not, I'm rooting for him. I hope he's not. This can destroy podcast deals. This can destroy his access to.
You really blew it, Uncle Shannon. That's what people are saying behind the scenes. Shannon Sharpe now finds himself stuck in the middle of a $10 million offer, a social media storm, and a public ready to tear him apart. One moment, he's living large with NFL fame and a top podcast. The next, his entire reputation is at risk. All thanks to a 19-year-old OnlyFans model who turned his world upside down. But this isn't just another celebrity scandal. It's a wake-up call on how quickly someone can go from admired to canceled, just because they trusted the wrong person or maybe thought they were above the fallout. Now, every move Shannon makes is being picked apart online, and what happens next could change more than just his future. It might expose how this game really works, and who's getting played. Enter DR. Umar Johnson. He's not holding back. He's calling out the setups, the traps, and all the bad choices Shannon just walked into. Because let's be honest, this isn't new. This kind of story has played out for years. And Shannon Sharpe, he's just the latest high-profile black man to fall for the same setup. Ever wonder how a private message suddenly turns into a $50 million lawsuit? Or why every time a successful black man rises, there's suddenly a scandal, a woman involved, and a lawyer on standby? Well, this story is far from over, and it's about to get even messier.
White women don't like us. They fetishize us. And the problem with the coon, the problem with these politically unconscious, thirsty black male celebrities, Art, is they can't tell the difference between a white woman who favors you and a white woman who fetishizes you. White women don't favor black men. White women fetishize black men. So moving on, Art. Tony Busby is suing Shannon Sharpe in court, Las Vegas, Nevada, Clark County, for his client, Gabriella Zuniga Asun, on 2 counts of civil violation. Number 1, he's being accused of intentional infliction of emotional distress. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. And number 2, he's being accused of 2 counts of. So you got intentional infliction of emotional distress and 2 counts of. Now, check this out, Art. Some people are asking the question whether or not I believe that the white power structure involved itself in this lawsuit. People are asking whether or not I believe the elites of the world put themselves or had some influence on this case. And I believe they did, Art. I'm going to tell you why. Gabriella allegedly told Shannon, let's back up. She sent Shannon a text, Art, and she said, I need $10,000. She sends Shannon a PayPal link for $10,000. Uncle Shay Shay says, I don't hit the Cash App. I got 10 grand for you when I see you. Gabriella says, I need it now. I'm broke. Uncle Shay Shay said, I'm not sending you no money electronically. 10K when I see you. So guess what she does, Art? Gabriella tells Shannon, take a picture of the 10,000 and text it to. Guess what she was doing, Art? When she asked Shannon Sharpe to send her a picture of the $10,000, she was setting him up right then. She was setting him up with the 10K. What do I mean, Art? It is illegal in Clark County, Nevada. Prostitution is illegal in most states. So the reason she wanted Shannon Sharpe to send her a picture of the money so she could have him arrested for solicitation of. She plays dirty, brother. She plays dirty. She was lining up her ducks already when.
Boom! That's the moment the internet exploded. Dr. Umar Johnson didn't just aim his message at Shannon Sharpe. He was speaking to every man watching. His warning? This is one of the oldest tricks in the book. And suddenly, this lawsuit isn't really about justice or money anymore. It's about power, pride, and a setup that's been happening since the days of boxing legend Jack Johnson. Attorney Tony Busby isn't just representing Gabriella. He's making an example out of every man chasing the wrong kind of attention, with more ego than caution. So now the real question isn't just whether Shannon made a mistake. It's who's really pulling the strings. And when Dr. Umar starts weighing in, you know things just got serious. This isn't just scandalous. It's starting to sound criminal. Gabriella wasn't only asking for cash. She wanted proof. She reportedly told Shannon to send her a photo of $10,000 in cash.
Black man, you know, Art, going to send a 19-year-old OnlyFans snow bunny a picture of $10,000. You know what that looks like? It looks like I'm paying you for. That's. Puffy is being accused of that. R. Kelly was convicted of that. And the other thing she tried to get him on, Art, is the Mann Act. The Mann Act is a federal law that makes it illegal to transport women across state lines for purposes of. When Shannon Sharpe relocated to Las Vegas from Los Angeles, she followed him. When Shannon Sharpe relocated from California to Nevada, she followed him. If she could show that she was paid to cross state lines to have with this ex-NFL superstar, he could be accused of breaking federal law. See, the Mann Act, Art, was created in 1910. And guess why the federal government created the Mann Act? To try to incarcerate the first black heavyweight champion, Jack Johnson. Remember, Jack Johnson was our first popular snow bunny hopper, right? He was the first black man who openly, even before it was acceptable, openly ran around the world with white girls. And so the U.S. Congress, 2 years after he became heavyweight champion of the world, 2 years after Jack Johnson became heavyweight champion of the world, the U.S. Congress created the Mann Act. He became champion in 1907, 1908. They passed the Mann Act in 1910. And by the way, Art, the Mann Act is also known as the White Slave Traffic Act.
Now, seriously, what successful black man is sending a 19-year-old OnlyFans model a picture of $10,000? That's not showing off. That's leaving behind evidence. That's how a private message turns into a legal case. That's how a setup becomes a potential felony, without even leaving the house. And Gabriella didn't stop there. She allegedly tried to use the Mann Act, a law originally used over 100 years ago to bring down Jack Johnson for crossing state lines with a white woman. That's right, history repeating itself in real time. So ask yourself, was this ever about romance? Or was it always about power? Because every message, every request for money, it all looks more like strategy than love. But if you thought that was the end of the road, think again. Gabriella's next move took things to another level. When the cash didn't work, she allegedly hit record. She reportedly taped their next encounter, trying to frame it as something criminal. Now, we're not just talking about scandal. We're talking about serious charges. But here's where it gets complicated. According to sources, Shannon and Gabriella had been into wild stuff for a while. BDSM, domination, all of it. So here's the question. When does that kind of relationship cross the line? When does it go from being something they both agreed to something illegal? Dr. Umar put it bluntly. When things get this messy, with blurred lines and no clear boundaries, it becomes nearly impossible to tell the difference between consent and setup. And that's the real danger here, not just for Shannon, but for anyone thinking they're untouchable.
Down. Shannon didn't fall for it. So guess what she does? She decides, I'm going to record the next act that we have. And when I record the next act that we have, I'm going to engineer this, allegedly, I'm going to engineer this to make it look like he SA'd me. So Art, she tapes it, she videos it, and allegedly this video, the audio, has her telling him to stop. He allegedly doesn't stop. But guess what? When you listen to this, it sounds as if he could very well be continuing because she is a BDSM freak. If you are normally having aggressive art, if you are normally having bondage and domination and submissive, if you are having sadomasochistic, how do you know when it, and how do you know when it's, when does the stop and when does the begin? And it appears to me, Art, that she didn't have a problem with him. She had a problem with him not using a condom when he did it. But then my question becomes, if y'all were already having unprotected for nearly 2 years, why did you need him to wear a condom this time? I'll tell you why she needed him to wear a condom this time, Art, because she was setting him up, as he rightfully said.
Some stories just keep getting more unbelievable, and this one is no different. After everything that had already happened, Gabriella's next move raised even more eyebrows. Turns out, she wasn't just after a big payout. She wanted something lasting. According to Dr. Umar, in relationships where one person has money and power, some women see having a child as long-term security. That's what Gabriella allegedly wanted. What he calls baby insurance. A way to lock in her future. Not just cash. But everything changed after that Instagram Live scandal blew up. Suddenly, her focus seemed to shift. It was no longer about starting a family. It was about getting paid. She reportedly demanded $25,000, not for the relationship, but per cheek from a procedure. What started as a personal connection turned into a money conversation. And that number didn't stop growing. A $50,000 request somehow became a $50 million lawsuit. So now everyone's asking, how did things spiral this far, this fast?
She wanted a baby out of Shannon because for a snow bunny dating a wealthy black man, a baby is financial insurance. For a snow bunny dating a successful black man, the mixed race baby, the big black baby, is my financial insurance. She thought Shannon Sharpe was into her until the infamous Instagram Live scandal. You remember that? When Shannon Sharpe was caught on tape banging out a snow bunny on Instagram Live. He claimed he didn't put the Instagram Live on. We will never know the story, but that ain't the point. The point, Art, is she was looking for a baby until Shannon cheated on her with the Instagram Live scandal. Everything changed after the Instagram Live, Art. Everything changed. She went from wanting to be a baby mama to being an extortionist. Because after that, it became all about the money. She told Shannon, she said, I know you missed this big, juicy booty. I don't know what booty she talking about, Art, because I didn't see no booty. I saw 2 pale, ashy, extra flat buttermilk biscuits. I don't know what booty she claiming she got. But anyway, she told Shannon, you have to pay me $25,000 for each one of my cheeks. $25K for the left cheek, $25K for the right cheek. Here's the problem with that, Art. If he only needed to pay you 50 grand for your flat cheeks, 50K, how did you end up at 50 million? Art, she said 25K for each cheek. That's only 50 grand. So how did we go from 0 to 100 in a couple weeks? You just wanted 50 grand. But your lawyer, Tony Busby, wants 50 million. Here's why I believe the power structure might be involved, Art. You are not going to convince me that a 19-year-old OnlyFans model, I don't care if she's black, white, brown, yellow, or red, you are not going to convince me that if you offer a 19-year-old OnlyFans model who sells videos of her body for cash apps on the regular, she sells videos and pictures of her body on the internet for cash apps, and she gets offered $10 million to walk away when she only asks for 50 grand. Think about this, Art. She only asks for 50 grand. Shannon Sharpe says, I'm going to give you 10 million to walk away. And she says,
if you think this is just about a messy breakup and a lawsuit, think again. This is where the situation goes from personal drama to something much bigger. Sabotage on a higher level. Dr. Umar breaks it down. People are now questioning whether some powerful people got involved behind the scenes. Could the NFL's higher-ups or people tied to white power structures be playing a part? Why would they ask that? Because most people find it hard to believe that a 19-year-old OnlyFans model would turn down $10,000,000, let alone a $10 million offer, unless someone more powerful was guiding her decisions. At this point, it doesn't just look like a scandal. It's starting to look like a setup.
Or maybe the white media power structure, or maybe the white podcast power structure. Somebody was jealous of Shannon Sharpe's upcoming $100 million contract. Somebody was jealous of Shannon Sharpe's upcoming $100 million contract, and they intervened at the level of Tony Busby, or they intervened at the level of Gabriella Azul-Nichols. One or the other. Because ain't no 19-year-old OnlyFans model turning down no 10K. Somebody wanted Shannon Sharpe embarrassed. Somebody wanted Shannon Sharpe humiliated. Somebody wanted Shannon Sharpe's financial future destroyed. But Shannon Sharpe made a big mistake, Art. He made the same mistake Sean Puffy Combs made. You know what that is? Offering too much money too soon. Remember when we had our last conversation, I said what? Puffy messed up when he offered Cassie that amount of money in less than 24 hours. It makes you look guilty. It makes you look guilty. Shannon Sharpe offered the 19-year-old Snow Bunny $10 million. That was too much money and it was too soon. And where there's smoke, there's fire. So Tony Busby and the white power structure allegedly stepped in and said, if he can give you 10 that easy. If he can give you 10 that easy. Remember, Shannon was bragging when he was talking about how the Cat Williams interview made him more money than he ever made in the NFL. Remember that, Art?
I remember that.
So he's letting people know that the pockets is kind of heavy. So when he offered Gabriella Asu-Ninjas $10 million, they said, oh, we can get a whole lot more than that. The shame of it all, Art, is we don't even know if Shannon going to get the $100 million contract now. I hope he does. I want what's best for my brother. I hope Shannon still gets his $100 million deal. It's hard out here for a black man. But Art, if they suing him for $50 million, what if he don't get the $100 million deal? Think about that. I don't know what he's worth. I don't pocket watch. But let's just say Shannon don't get it, and I hope he does. Knock on wood. But if Shannon don't get the 100 mil, Art, and the court award her 50 million, what if he don't even have 50 million? What if he don't even have 50 million?
Dr. Umar didn't hold back. He said it plainly, *. Dr. Umar didn't hold back. He said it plainly, Asterisk. Someone wanted Shannon Sharpe humiliated. Someone wanted to ruin his financial future. And when Shannon offered $10 million right away, it made people raise their eyebrows. It looked like he had something to hide. That's when the real trouble began. Suddenly, this wasn't just about hush money or internet gossip. Now, it's about his entire career, including a $100 million podcast deal, and maybe even a bigger plan to bring him down. Forget the courtroom for a second. These days, it's the internet that decides your fate. And for Shannon, that online judgment could be far more damaging than any legal decision.
Shannon is going through 2 trials right now. Shannon is going through civil court with the white man and a court of public opinion with the black man, the black woman, the white man, and the white woman. And guess what? Guess which one of those are more critical, Art? The court of public opinion. Because in civil court, she's going to get paid and then life will go on for her. But if Shannon Sharpe is convicted in the court of public opinion, and I hope he's not, I'm rooting for him. I hope he's not. This can destroy podcast deals. This can destroy his access to white space.
This situation goes way beyond lawyers and lawsuits. It's about what the public decides to do with your name. Will they cancel you, mock you, or stand by your side? All it takes is one viral clip, one headline taken the wrong way, and it can erase everything Shannon Sharpe spent years building. Dr. Umar says it clearly. If Shannon loses in the court of public opinion, it could cost him major deals, partnerships, and access to big platforms. So the real question is it the judge who decides his future or the millions of people online who already think they know the truth? In 2025, every time you trend, you're on trial.
Question number 1, Gabriella Zuniga. You claim that Shannon Sharpe was and controlling for the entire 2-year relationship. If Shannon Sharpe was and controlling during the entire 2-year relationship, why did you pack up and follow him to Las Vegas from California? If he was you in Los Angeles, don't you think he would also be you in Las Vegas? So why did you follow a man from one state to another? That don't make no sense. Question number 2, Gabriella Zuniga. You claim that Shannon Sharpe SA'd you twice. October of 2024, January of 2025. You claim allegedly he SA'd you October 2024, January 2025. If he SA'd you in October of 2024, why didn't you call the police? You mean to tell me you're a privileged white girl? You was just SA'd by one of the most popular former athletes in NFL history, and you don't call the police. You do not seek to take this man off the street. You are not fearful that he might not try to do this to you again. You don't tell the police at all that you were SA'd by this big, black, muscular athlete.
Now here's where the story really starts to fall apart. Gabriella claimed Shannon was controlling and abusive for 2 years. So why did she follow him from California to Las Vegas? If he really hurt her in October, why didn't she go to the police? Think about it. Shannon Sharpe is a high-profile athlete. If something that's serious happened, there would be a report, an investigation, something. But there's nothing. This case is no longer just about accusations. It's about the parts of the story that don't make sense. Why would someone stay close to the person they say mistreated them? Why keep meeting with him? The actions and the words don't match, and that makes people start asking tough questions. Just when it seems clear, the story takes another turn, and suddenly you're not sure what to believe.
I got another question for Gabriella Zuniga. Gabriella, so Shannon Sharpe was you for 2 years, but you followed him from one state to the next. He you allegedly, you don't call the police. And then 2 to 3 months later, Art, in January of 2025, he comes to your home bearing birthday gifts and Christmas gifts. He comes to your home bearing birthday gifts and Christmas gifts, and you telling me that this man who just SA'd you 2-3 months ago, you're going to let him back in your house for some Christmas gifts and birthday gifts, and according to her, he SA'd her a second time.
At this point, we need to stop sugarcoating it and call it what it looks like, a setup. After all the headlines and back and forth, one thing sticks out. If Gabriella really wanted justice, why is she asking for money instead of pressing charges? Why no criminal case? Why no police involvement? Instead, it's all about cash, millions of it. And that's why more and more people are starting to believe this isn't about justice at all. It's about getting paid.
Gabriella, in the interest of protecting white women from uncontrolled black men like Shannon Sharpe, allegedly, and I'm being sarcastic on purpose here, why not turn him into the police, have him tried in court, arrested, taken off the street, and you can still get your thirsty lawyer, Tony Busby, to sue him in criminal court. Art, it makes no sense for her not to be pursuing charges in criminal court. You were SA'd twice by a black male celebrity, and you don't want no criminal justice. You only want financial justice. Art, this is a shakedown.
Dr. Umar starts connecting the dots, and suddenly, it's not just about lawsuits or accusations. It's about whether Shannon himself played a part in his own downfall.
I think Shannon, or the woman he was with, and I pray it wasn't a snow bunny, but I think Shannon or the woman he was with orchestrated that. Because I do Instagram Live on the regular, right? First of all, you got to open up the app. After you open up the app, you got to slide over to live. After you slide over to live, you got to hit the live. So you can, it's very difficult. I'm not going to say impossible. It's very difficult to go live accidentally. If Shannon Sharpe claims it was an accident, I'm not going to call my brother a liar. Even though he's a bunny hopper, I still respect him as a black man. I'm not going to call him a liar, but I can see how he has benefited from this episode. He was being accused of being a part of the Rainbow Army. This may have helped dispel those allegations. In addition to that, someone said he was just offered $100,000 from a adult film company to produce an adult film, or at least license the audio that he had, or whatever the case may be. It brought him a whole lot more followers and listeners, although he was already one of the top podcasts and doing well for himself. But this really did bring a lot of attention to Shannon Sharpe. It really, really did. And I can see why Mason Cameron and others might feel like Shannon Sharpe intentionally did this, because there was a lot to gain, especially clearing himself of the rumors that he was absolutely. Because even when he talked to Ocho Cinco afterwards, he wasn't very remorseful. He apologized, but he celebrated in that apology. You know, he said, I was getting down.
Dr. Umar starts connecting the dots, and suddenly, this isn't just about someone targeting Shannon Sharpe. It's about how much responsibility Shannon might have in the mess he's now caught up in. Did he ignore the red flags? Did he make reckless choices? The question now isn't just what happened to him. It's what part he played in letting it happen.
Shannon doesn't deserve any compassion or support because Cat Williams warned him. They said Cat Williams warned you to your face on your show that he don't trust white women and he's scared of them. Cat Williams said, I'm scared of snow bunnies. He said, because a snow bunny can destroy you in 2 weekends. He prophesied Shannon Sharpe scandal, Art. Cat Williams said a snow bunny can destroy you in 2 weekends. Well, guess what, Art? Yesterday was Sunday. Tony Busby filed the civil suit last Sunday. So Cat Williams was right. But guess what? It didn't take 2 weeks. It took 1. Art, it has only been 7 days. It feels like 7 years. They have completely upended Shannon Sharpe's life in 7 days. And then Monique, our beautiful African sister Monique, shout out to Baltimore. Monique told Shannon to his face, what, Art? She said, stop messing with them 26-year-olds. Stop messing with them 36-year-olds. Get you a woman your age. Get you a woman who will make you them smothered turkey wings, bake you some pies, and rub your feet. She said, you ain't got no business, Shannon, messing with them 26 and 36-year-olds. Monique and Kat's prophecy came to reality. I told Shannon Sharpe, if you keep it up, they gonna get you. I told him, if you keep bunny hopping, they are going to get you.
And here we are. The signs were there. The warnings weren't quiet. The advice was loud and clear. But Shannon Sharpe believed he couldn't be touched. Now, the whole world is watching his mistakes play out in real time. From million-dollar demands to viral drama, this story shows just how quickly things can fall apart, especially when the internet gets involved. So, what do you think? Was this a setup, a shakedown, or just one bad decision after another? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're into deep dives like this, hit that subscribe button so you never miss what's next. Until then, stay sharp, stay smart, and take care.